now let's get into multiplying fractions. Let's say how to multiply fractions. So the first step to multiplying fractions is to make all numbers fractions. So if you have whole numbers, make them a fraction. If you have mixed numbers, make them improper. And I'll show you a couple like that. Step 2 is to divide out common factors. I like to call this cross simplify. So step 2 is cross simplify. Again, I'll show you an example and I'll explain. Step 3, multiply straight across top and bottom. And step 4 is get the sign. So figure out if it's a positive or a negative using Dorito Man and simplify. Okay, so let's look at a couple examples. Example 1, -6 1/3 times 9/38. Okay, so step 1 says to make all numbers fractions. So this one is perfect. It's a fraction. This one's a mixed number. We want to make it a fraction by, I call it swing and hook. You multiply here, 3 times 6, ignoring the sign. And then whatever you get there, you add the numerator. So 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 is 19 over 3. Keep the sign. And I'm just going to bring down that 9/38. Step 1 is done. We made that mixed number into a fraction. Okay, step 2 is to divide out common factors, aka cross simplify. So we just worked on simplifying fractions. Now we're going to cross simplify. So you're looking at this numerator and this denominator. Do they have any factors in common? Yes. They actually both have the factor of 19 in common. So we can divide this by 19 and you can divide this by 19. And we're going to cross simplify here, 3 and 9. Do they have any factors in common? Yes, they can both be divided by 3. Okay, so now I'm going to simplify that. 19 divided by 19 is 1. Over 3 divided by 3 is, 1. Okay, times 9 divided by 3 is 3. Over 38 divided by 19 is 2. So there we have cross simplified, and that makes our multiplication so much easier. Step 3, multiply straight across top and bottom. Okay, so 1 times 3 is 3. Over 1 times 2 is 2. And last step, get the sign and simplify. It's a negative times a positive, so if you use Dorito Man, a negative times a positive is a negative. This should be -3/2. and we're going to simplify it. It's an improper fraction, so it can be turned to a mixed number. 2 goes into 3 one whole time with 1 left over. So that's our final answer. -1.5. Let's do another example. Let's do 7 times 1/15. Step 1, make all numbers fractions. This is a whole number, so we're going to turn it to a fraction by putting a 1 underneath it. Okay, all whole numbers, all integers can be turned into fractions by just putting a 1 underneath. Okay. Step 2, divide out common factors. I'm going to rewrite this. 7/1 times 1/15. So we're looking across 1 and 1. They're as simplified as they can get. Nothing we can do there. 7 and 15, they don't have any common factors. So moving on to step 3. Step 3, multiply across top and bottom. 7 times 1 is 7. Over 1 times 15 is 15. Step 4, get the sign and simplify. It's a positive times a positive, so it will be a positive, and this can't be simplified. So that's our final answer.